People will often tell me that their doctor told them to not deadlift because it will blow their spine into a million pieces and they will never be able to walk again. Their entire spinal cord will be severed and they will be paralyzed. So if you have a doctor telling you this, it's a good time to try to find a different doctor, okay? It's a good time to try to find a different doctor. Let's talk about deadlifting in itself. Deadlifting is simply bending over at the hip, right? So you're hinging, you're bending over at the hip while keeping your back nice and straight to get your body closer to the ground, to get your torso closer to the ground. So it isn't inherently dangerous, right? It isn't inherently dangerous to do this specific movement. But most people, when they're doing deadlifts, they do too much volume right away. So they learn the movement and they're thinking, oh my gosh, like this is great. I'm going to just crank out a bunch of these exercises every single day. Boom, 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 no problem. On top of that, they might do too tough of an exercise. So a different variation where maybe it would have been good for them to start with a dumbbell deadlift, right? For example. But at the beginning, they do a full-blown deficit deadlift, which is extremely hard for a lot of individuals to do consistently. So when you pair these two together, pair these two things of doing too much volume all at one time and too tough of an exercise, which again, most people are doing this with deadlifting. They might also increase the intensity too high quickly, so doing too much load too fast. All of these things culminated together can lead to overuse and pain in your connective tissue, in your overall body, and can lead a lot of people to having back pain when they're doing deadlifts or after they do deadlifts, right? So let's think about this from a different sense. If I told you right now, I dropped a pencil on the ground over there, and I told you, go pick up that pencil for me. I'd say please, right? Hopefully I'm not going to be mean about it. Say, could you please pick up that pencil for me? You go down, bend over, pick up the pencil. What did you just do? You just deadlifted. Well, that's not well, yeah, that is the movement. The movement is bending over, as we just discussed, at your hips while keeping your back relatively straight to pick up an object off of the ground. When you are picking up that pencil off of the ground, that is exactly what you are doing. So did that cause you pain? No. Why? Because the application of it was you didn't do too much volume that was over your body's ability to handle it. You didn't do too tough of an exercise that wasn't over your body's ability to be able to handle it. It was within your realm and your current fitness capabilities, which of course allows you overall for a long period of time to work on it to get stronger. If you just consistently picked up a pencil for one day, next week you pick up 2 pencils, 3 pencils. Obviously that's not a lot of weight, but consider this. That's progressive overload, right? That's how we get stronger. That's how we get used to it. So the deadlift in itself isn't going to harm you, but of course if you're doing too much volume, too much overall intensity, and too tough of an exercise variation, which when people are deadlifting, they do this a lot of times. Think about people who just help their friends move, right? They just help their friends move a couch. That is essentially a deadlift where you are carrying it. And a lot of people who do this are very inactive before they do that. And then they'll hurt themselves doing it. And they'll say, oh man, I hurt myself lifting. I'm never going to lift again. Well, maybe it's the fact that you never normally lift is the reason why you hurt yourself when you actually picked up that couch to help your friends. So just something to consider of a different kind of mindset. Like the video if that gave you some good value.